Don't you realize? Our parents, they want the best of stuff for us. It's our time.
I so much want your understanding. I want your respect.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad. I'll do it with you.
Okay, potato chips, other salty snacks.
Good advice. That doctor obviously knows what he's talking about.
Butter, heavy cream, cheese.
Gone? Makes a lot of sense.
Alcoholic beverages.
Okay, that doctor's a quack.
I knew the food would be bad.
Sorry. You're unusually limber this morning. I'll say.
And then we practiced high kicks. Watch. You!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Melt Off Podcast. I'm UrzaMaster.
And I'm Goonie Mama.
And we are excited to have you back for episode 8. This episode centering, of course, on the stress and lifestyle changes we're going through. Just a refresher, or for any new listeners, we are on independent lifestyle journeys towards healthier selves. But we are doing it together because we're married, so kind of have to. I had gastric bypass surgery.
And I'm doing more of like a calorie counting and exercise.
Noomish program. So I guess we'll just start off this week with, I think we're going to change it up a little bit. Let's talk our challenges and successes for the week.
Okay, you take it away.
All right. My challenge this week, after meeting with my nutritionist, has been exploring more of the soft foods and next stages of eating after surgery. Everybody after bariatric advances at a different rate. I know there was concern last week that maybe I was moving too fast or trying too much too quickly. And there was a little bit of that, but basically what I've been told is that, if you can handle it, it's okay to experiment, just go very slowly, don't hurt yourself kind of thing, and still focus on kind of the incremental steps back to regular food. Leaving the hospital with blended, it was totally fine that I was starting to do some softer foods and work in a few normal things as well. Unfortunately, my experimentation does not always go well. Today had that happen fairly acutely. Made up a very healthy lunch with a portion of salmon, knowing full well that 4 ounces was too much fish. I was only going to eat maybe a quarter, maybe a half of it. And then I cooked up some vegetables, green peppers and Brussels sprouts, with some shallots and garlic to go with it as kind of like a sauce slash, relish with it. And I chewed it up to applesauce consistency, which my nutritionist said that's exactly what I should do. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, whether I ate too fast, too much, didn't chew well enough, it left me feeling like I had swallowed a big bag of glass for about 2 hours until I finally forced myself to take it back up the entrance and get it out of my system, and then I felt a little bit better. I was a little concerned. There was about a teaspoon of blood in the vomit, so no doubt the pouch had some pretty significant stress on it, which explains all the pain. Pain did go away, so I think fortunately, no worries about staples being ripped. It was probably just some stretching, and that's not good either, but it's better than ripping a stitch or a staple. And now actually I feel okay. Throat's a little raw, but other than that, I'm all right. My success this week, however, has been somehow managing to continue to get my fluids and protein in. And I owe a lot of that to the Fairlife protein drinks and just the ability to continue to drink Fairlife milk with breakfast and stuff has been really great. And getting to that minimum protein is huge. So that's really been my week in a nutshell and continues to be my opportunity. How about you?
Yeah, I guess I'll start with my kind of challenge, or my weakness has definitely been stress eating. I'm very kind of stressed at work, stressed at home, stressed in life in general. And so I have been eating, I wouldn't say unhealthy, but I've been eating more. And I have not been using my new app at all. And I can tell, that number on the scale is not moving. It actually went up a little bit from last week. Also, it's my time of the month, which doesn't help with bloating and making me feel hungrier and craving the sweets and the chocolate, which I do give in a little bit, which is okay. But, just kind of feeling down about everything. Feeling stressed at work and not feeling adequate in my job or my journey. I didn't really want to come on this podcast tonight, but somebody pushed me in a good way to, understand that other people probably go through this struggle just like I am right now. But on a happier note, my success was that I managed to complete my first 5K with my friend Debbie. We did a virtual 5K. So it was just me and her. We did the run. We even had little badge numbers on, and all the people on the path were like, I wonder where the rest of the bunch is, but maybe these two girls got lost, so we kind of joked about that. I didn't run the entire thing, but I did run more than I thought I would. We kind of did 1 minute intervals, so a minute running, and then a minute walking, and then a minute running, and about the last mile, I was kind of like, can we just walk it? Because I was feeling it. And the next few days, I was definitely feeling it. But I'm looking forward to the end of April when I do the Eau Claire marathon. I'm not doing the marathon, but I'm doing the 5K. So it'll be fun to be with a bunch of other people also on the struggle bus like me. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I think both of those things are very much in everybody's wheelhouse. Hitting a success like a 5K, that's a big deal. I've done 5Ks before. I never thought I would, and it's amazing when it's been like a long time since you've done anything like that physical to complete it, let alone run as much as you did. I was super proud of you. Still am.
Thank you.
And I did give you the best massage that I could, although you were pretty sore
Yeah.
afterwards. Hopefully that's passed a little bit anyway.
Yeah, I was finally able to get on the elliptical last night, which running is just a totally different exercise than the elliptical. The elliptical, you never really even pick up your feet ever, but running, it's that impact and just not used to it.
Yeah.
But I was glad to be able to get on my exercise machine like I normally do, and so that was nice. But I'm hoping to get out there when this weather gets warmer, go on some family walks, and
For sure.
not runs though, just probably walks.
At least at first, for sure. Yeah, it'll be hopefully nice. We're supposed to get a winter storm again here tonight, tomorrow, something like
Yep.
that. So hopefully we get some nicer weather soon. It's been very nice the last few days. And it doesn't help when it's kind of gloomy weather. It's cold, windy. Even when it's sunny and nice, it's still cold. And then to, be going through your time of the month, I'm sure it's been less than ideal. And it also sucks that, I'm not able to help as much as I should be. Although I do what I can, but it's never, there's never enough when you've got 3 kids. I think we're
Right.
both feeling the stress of 3 kids. I'm not even working right now. I'm still on leave because I do have a little bit of a tough time being in one position for several hours still. I did get on the floor a few times to play with the kids, and earlier today I tried to do some stretches to loosen up my back. I did the pretzel stretch, which is a PT thing. If you haven't heard about it, you kind of tuck your legs and roll one side to the other, and you do the Jesus Christ pose kind of thing. And I could feel it. I could still feel like the internals not quite there yet to get back on the elliptical and start doing some more significant workouts. And, not feeling yourself sucks when you're trying to do exercise and just feel good about yourself. and then, yeah, a tendency to stress eat is totally normal. I would stress eat if I could. I mean, I physically cannot. And that has been like a double downer. Mentally really draining. I mean, there are significant stretches of time where it's like, I just want to eat something normal, just not even extravagant or over the top. So, I mean, I guess if there's a plus to the gastric bypass is like I can't binge at all.
Right.
Although, in your shoes, it's like, I think you need to give yourself some grace too. You're going through a lot. Work is incredibly busy for you right now. And having done what you do for a few years, it's really difficult to have a work-life balance when it's this busy for you. And unfortunately, with 3 kids, we kind of don't have a choice. We have to have some life balance in there. And I think you've been doing a great job. I mean, from the sudden workload that got dumped on you, you've kept a really good attitude on the phone with your people. You've worked really hard to try and take care of your people. We're in a customer service industry in insurance, so it's very hard to keep a level head when you're going through not just the stress of life that you get every month and the stress of normal life, but the stress of crisis situation. And
Right.
We're both empathetic people, so we're good at what we do because we care, but it's a double-edged sword when stuff's going on in your own life, and that's challenging. So I know we've done some Dunkin' Donuts coffee this week. I got you some avocado toast the other day.
That
got
was really
it
good.
for both of us. And then this morning I did get donuts. I was really proud of you, though. You didn't go ham on a donut. I think we both wanted to.
Yeah, I had my overnight oats.
Yeah, you did good there. I had a little bit of donut, but I shared most of it with the baby. Rowan has been home. He had his shots this week at his 15-month appointment, so he had to stay home a couple days from daycare to make sure there weren't any side effects, and he's doing fine. The kid eats like a garbage can. Discovered tonight, though, he loves broccoli. Kept going, and I just kept bringing him more and more plates of broccoli.
He loves broccoli.
He's a veggie kid. He loves peas, broccoli. He was really hard on the strawberries for a while, and I think that's kind of faded, but he ate a whole banana before dinner. And probably a good 3/4 cups of broccoli. What did I actually make him to eat? I don't even remember.
Was it a hot dog?
I think I cut him up a hot dog.
Just
No.
fed him broccoli for dinner.
No, I didn't give him a hot dog.
Did you only feed our son broccoli for dinner?
No, he had something else. I forget what it was. I don't even remember because I just kept giving him more food, and it just kept disappearing. He kept eating it. Yeah, I remembered it because I made Linnea a hot dog, and it took her like an hour and a half to eat it. She had to take several breaks in other rooms of the house, and then be coaxed back, which is typical of a 5-year-old. And then, of course, our itty-bitty, Soren, didn't want to eat his bottle today when he got home, and he did finally take a good nap. We're worried maybe he's getting a little touch of something, sickness. I'm hoping he wakes up fine tomorrow. So there's a lot going on in our house. Not to mention, tomorrow's the big play date. We set up for Linnea and her best friend, so we've got a lot of cleaning to do. I cleaned this morning. I cleaned up the main living room and the kitchen, and 2 hours later is a disaster, so I don't know why we do these things to ourselves. But it's family life, and to make a big lifestyle change, but not only for one of us to do it or both of us to do the same thing, for both of us to have such different paths with their own unique curves and challenges, it's incredibly stressful. So, the real question is, what do you do with that stress? How do you relieve it? I think we each kind of take different routes there. Let's start with you. What works for you to relieve that day-to-day stress?
It's probably something I have to work on to really find a stress reliever right now. I would say the hot tub helps, going in there, but again, that's only like 10-15 minutes tops of relieving stress, and then you come back in the house, and the house stresses me out. Uh, so really, one of my big stress relievers is probably leaving the house. That sounds really bad, but I'm sure other people deal with the same thing. You don't want to be around your biggest problem, which for me is just, I don't know, being around, the kitchen stresses me out because there's food that I shouldn't eat, that I want to eat. We're not the most organized people, so that also stresses me out. I don't know, I found knitting to be helpful for me to just kind of decompress from the day and just mindlessly knit while we're watching something on Netflix. But always in the back of my mind, there's that stress ball. Never leaves.
Yeah. I think that's adulthood in a way. Like, even if the house was perfectly clean, we would find something else to stress over. Did the kids eat enough food? All that other stuff would just come to the forefront a little bit more. That's what I've found, is that you solve one stress issue and another one just is there. As an adult, it's just, I'm not making excuses or saying it's not valid. I'm just saying there's just going to be new stress. So I've almost grown accustomed to just being stressed in a way. But I find that doing this podcast and the other podcasts, under Digital Escape Productions we do, or I do, really helps me out. I like to talk through things on here, especially with the surgery. That's been a huge, I guess, mental block in a way. As liberating as it has been and as good for my health as it is, mentally it's a little tough. I mean, there's no getting around that. That's why you go through a 10-month program ahead of the surgery to know that you have, a support system for afterwards. But you still have a lot of relearning how to do basic things in life, and that's been tough. Likewise, I got to be honest too, I start to stop sweating the small stuff, and that kind of de-stresses me. When I'm working on a project, I can focus solely on that, whether it's rebuilding one of these computers I have or organizing the space behind me to be kind of my little man cave gaming space within a man cave. It's something, although I need to make more progress down here, but like the whole house, there's more that I could do everywhere. It's just
Ain't that the truth?
Where can I focus my time that I have, and I only have so much more of it before I go back to
laundry.
Work. Laundry, right. But the tough part is, too, there's also kids to consider. Rowan's been home, Linnea's only gone a half a day, and then at some point I have to go pick up the baby. There's been errands to run, doctor's appointments, follow-up appointments for me, dentist appointments. Like, there's a lot going on in our lives, even though, like, had I not had this surgery, we'd be working right now. All that stuff would still be going on, and less would be getting done than it even is right now. So I take a little solace in, like, the small wins throughout the day. That to me has been a big help, particularly with the surgery, but just in stress in general. I look at, there's always more to do, but it's like, look, I had the kitchen perfectly clean twice today. Unfortunately, there are several meals that get cooked in the kitchen, and there is just no perfect clean.
And we're bad about cleaning as we go is our big issue.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of that has to do with having kids. Rowan only wants to sit in the high chair for so long, and it takes me a full hour to try and eat anything. And then if I run into dumping, like I did today, I might be sidelined for a while, feeling like I swallowed a bunch of glass. And on top of that, we have a green fish tank. That's always there.
You don't need to bring that up. People don't need to know about it.
It's just
I'm trying.
There's
to
jugs of
clean
water
it,
there.
You know what?
Our fish is still alive.
Yeah.
We have a new snail that should help. But,
And I've cleaned it like 3 times in the past 2 weeks.
It's just
It's a Kermit the Frog tank. It likes to.
I mean, it's definitely not 3 times in the last 2 weeks. It's like once in the last 6 weeks. But
no, I've cleaned it. We don't need to argue on the podcast, okay? I've cleaned it more in the last 2 weeks.
But it's just one of those things. It's like there's always something you could pick on or point out. And what helps me is just like understanding that there's always more that could be done. Even when it's finished, there's more that could be done. Like there's a small popcorn oil spill in our Lazy Susan. I've been cleaning the bottoms of the stuff that I pull out of there. I have not cleaned out that tray in the Lazy Susan. It's just not, it's not hurting anything. It's not a high priority. It's mostly dried out at this point, but it's still there. Stuff gets a little greasy on the bottom. I want to clean it, but I also don't want Rowan to choke on a little toy. And I don't want to constantly be having to pick up after our kids because, one, they're going to pull everything back out. Rowan did it to me twice in the last day. And Lene is a tornado. Even if we clean up all of the play areas when she gets home from school, it's all going to look exactly the way it does.
She has a good imagination.
I want her to play, and I want her to feel free to play. Now, she needs to learn responsibility, and it is frustrating, but, you know, when I'm trying to manage learning how to eat and drink, it's very taxing, just as it is for you trying to work and deal with hundreds of customers that need help to manage the situation. And I think both of us need to take a breath and appreciate the successes we do have. You know, we did put away quite a bit of laundry. There's more to go. We wear clothes every day. I don't know why. We work from home.
And you wear 2 shirts.
You know, I wear 2 shirts because I don't like wearing deodorant. And if I wear it with just 1 shirt, I get deodorant on my nice shirts on the outside instead of my shirts I can roach on the inside. So I wear 2 shirts. And before the surgery, I used to sweat a lot. I have not sweat nearly as much. Part of that might be a little dehydration. Part of that might just be my body's running more efficiently and better. And I have less insulation. I weighed in this morning at 287. I mean, that's the lowest I've been since college.
Please, you're probably going to catch up to me.
Hey, you didn't just have massive surgery for that express purpose. Like,
yeah.
You know, you were doing it the more normal way. I'm not saying that it's the easy way out. It's certainly not easy to have gastric bypass. Don't ever have that misconception, listeners and folks out there considering surgery or in the program. Don't think this is ever easy. It's really, really not. There's so much that goes into it, and you really don't appreciate it until the surgery's over and there's nothing you can do about it. So be prepared for that. It's still the right decision. As much as it sucks not being able to have Chinese food, I gotta be honest, I'd rather not have diabetes and not have high blood pressure and not have gout than go back. You know,
Right.
It's just tough. But these feelings are normal, and feelings of stress are very difficult for everyday folks who aren't struggling with their weight and their lifestyle. And they have to find outlets. You know, whether you lose your stress by working out extra hard or lose your stress by cooking. Cooking for me is always a stress reliever. I made dinner tonight, and I was stressed out before that. But while I was cooking, even though Rowan was desperate for more broccoli every 2 minutes, I felt good. It felt nice to do something and be a little creative in the kitchen. I hadn't done that in a while.
And it was delicious.
And I wasn't even cooking for myself. I didn't have any of it because I just didn't feel good. But I'm glad it was tasty. So, you know, for our listeners out there, if you're looking to manage stress, I think the biggest things are celebrate the small victories. Don't sweat the small stuff. There's a but. There's a lot.
Isn't it don't sweat the big stuff?
No, don't sweat the small stuff.
All right, fine.
There's big stuff you just have to worry about. You'll have to stress over. And
Wait, why did you say butts?
I don't know. I think I was going to say don't sweat the small stuff, but understand that you'll need to celebrate your small wins
Sure.
as well. So, like, I don't worry so much that there's dirty dishes in the sink that need to go in the dishwasher or be hand washed. Like,
I do.
it doesn't change. Every single day we're dirtying more dishes. Every single day we have to do that. It just is what it is. And sometimes we're too busy to clean them as we go. It just is what it is. It is not that big of a deal. We're the only ones in the house. Now, if we have company coming over, that's a perfect time to stress and, you know, get it done. But on an everyday basis, you know what? If it slides to the next meal, it's okay. It's not hurting anybody. We don't have a rat problem or an ant problem. You have to learn to look past it and understand that, hey, you fed your kids today. You fed yourself. I ate something today. That, for me, eating something, even if it's a spoonful, is a win. So, like, learn to just ease off the throttle, understand that stuff's not perfect. It's a work in progress. Tackle one thing at a time. And when you're done with it, enjoy what you've done. When I had the living room cleaned today for that half hour, I was really happy with it. It was cleaned up. I wiped down all the sticky shit that was everywhere. Where that came from, I don't know. Cleaned up all the garbage that was everywhere. That I don't know where the kids find this garbage, but it was everywhere. Picked up all the toys, got everything reasonably put where it goes, and then Rowan took a nap, and it was the cutest thing. I put him in the swing just to see if he still fit, and he was just sitting there enjoying the swinging motion. And I was cleaning, and I looked back, and he's folded over on his knees on top of the blanket, face down, sleeping in the swing, and it was adorable. I helped him lean back, and he was starting to fall asleep, and then you came in, and then he didn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
But, those are the moments that really matter. Do I care that, 10 minutes later, was there toys all over the floor again? Of course there was. He's a 1-year-old. He's going to keep doing that, no matter what you do. And then we had our 5-year-old home from school, and she completely ripped everything apart again, and didn't pick up after herself again.
She picked up some things.
She is getting better, little by little, and that's a small win. We should celebrate that. Now, was she naughty this afternoon and evening? Of course she was. She is every day. She's learning.
Oh.
She's learning her boundaries. She's a good kid. She's just 5, and that's tough. But you know what? Later when I was reading her books in bed, which is a stress reliever for me, believe it or not, when she listens and cuddles, I got to lay there with her and kind of stroke her hair and give her mooches and say, hey, Mom and Dad love you, right? No matter what. And sometimes you don't listen and you get in trouble, but we still love you. And she understood and she knew. And she, didn't want to play with her toys, didn't want to get out of bed. She just wanted to sit there and cuddle with me. And that she asked for it specifically. I was going to let her go and send you in to cuddle, and she wanted Daddy. And that's pretty rare, all things considered, because usually when she gets in trouble, I'm the one who notices and gives her what for.
Yeah.
But I'll take it. I'll take that win, and it makes a lot of the other stuff worth it. Now, are there other things I wish I could have got done today? You betcha. But I'll take those small wins, and you know what? If there's some dog hair on the duvet, there's some dog hair on the duvet. I'll live with it.
No, I'm gonna lint roll that shit right off.
So, but stress is really important because your stress hormones do affect your hunger levels, and how you eat and what you want to eat. Sweets, chocolate, your treats. You just want to make yourself feel better. Food is so good at doing that. But that instant gratification's not the ticket, man. It's putting in the work and accomplishing something. Although the work I put into something today ended up being completely ineffective, I still had some joy in the process. But what I would say is that you got to learn to appreciate the little victories. And I've found that after the surgery, I still have those cravings when I get stressed. And when I focus my mind on something else and try and relax and just remember that I'm still healing and still accomplishing things that other folks who just got surgery might still be laying in bed struggling to walk around the house and keep water down. Like, I'm doing great. It's hard to be a person. I think of Tom Papa's line every day. It's hard to be a person. You're doing great. At the end of the day, nobody's house is perfect. I've never been in a house that's perfect, ever. Not my entire life. Not even a show house. I've been in a lot of imperfect places, let me tell you. But, for me, that's my advice.
Yeah. I get that. I gotta work on it.
It also helps that we have this Melt Off podcast. We're not just melting off the pounds. We're not just melting off our health issues by living healthier lives. We can melt off our stress by sharing our stories with all of you. So if you come home and you have stress because you left your rice cooker going and your rice is all crispy and gross, hey, you can always add some more water and hope it fluffs back up. If you don't, maybe you can fry it, make fried rice.
It's a weird analogy.
It is a very weird analogy. Occasionally I pull some weird ones
I
out.
think it's getting kind of late. Wrap this up.
But, you know, the main thing is like, we all have stress. It's always different for everybody, and how you deal with it's different. Find what works for you. Make it healthy. Don't do drugs. Too many, anyway. Don't do binge eating. It's bad for you. Try and avoid that. If you got to binge, eat carrots. Love carrots.
Why are you giving me like a Star Trek vibe right now?
It's the yellow on black.
It is,
I
isn't
look
it?
like an ensign, don't I?
Yeah.
Also, hey, tomorrow we'll be recording the Warp Core podcast, so
Slide that right in.
stay tuned. We'll be talking Star Trek Picard, Season 3, the first through the most recent episode, which debuts tonight at midnight. But as far as the Melt Off podcast goes, that is it for us tonight. It's a shorter episode, I know, but stress is a very big topic. We really want you all out there listening on whatever platform, because we are available on all platforms, or here on YouTube. Drop us a comment. Let us know what your stress is. What do you do to help relieve that stress? And do you have any advice for us, other than hiring a maid or getting a second wife or second husband? Hey, don't ever shut any doors, man. But thank you again for melting off with us. Goonie Mama, any closing thoughts?
I'm gonna go to bed. Bye.
All right. Take care, everyone.